besties, I'm so excited because I am filming this vlog from one of my new spaces that I have been blessed to receive, where I can record videos and it be a quiet, intimate setting where I don't have to worry about children or husbands or dogs making noise, and I have a peaceful and tranquil place where I can record these videos. And it's got me really excited and really jazzed, and I'm just so excited. In this vlog episode, I want to talk about 5 things that I have learned during my entrepreneurship journey. So I want to share with you 5 tips on how to avoid making certain mistakes or wasting time or money, because I want you to enjoy the ride and I don't want you to be paralyzed by frustration or fear. And so I am sharing my experiences with you so that you can have an amazing entrepreneurship journey, whatever you want to call it, that you can have a great experience. So here we go. So I started my business 2.5 years ago. I started off in graphic design. I transitioned into brand strategy, into brand coaching, and so that is where I am now. But I started 2.5 years ago, right after I had my second child, and it has been a whirlwind experience, right? So I want to share my first tip with you about how to have a positive experience as an entrepreneur and starting that journey. And the first tip is to just start. Just start. And while that is such a simple thing to say, it is very hard for a lot of people, because when you want something so badly for your life, but you are so accustomed to living in a comfortable situation, or a situation where you just feel like there's no hope, it's very hard to convince yourself to do something different. So that's why my tip is to just start. It could be something so incredibly small, such as creating a social media page, coming up with an idea, finding someone who can teach you the basics of how to build a business. There's so many things that you can do to just start. I worked in corporate America for 6 years, and I was in school for 6 years before that, and it is very scary to have to make that kind of transition, right? Especially, I know, for the people in my age group, the millennials, we have been taught, go to school, get a good paying job, retire, and that's it. Like, we're not taught to start our own businesses, go out on a limb, travel around the world. Those things are not taught to us by our elders, and so we become so accustomed to what other people have told us to do, we don't even take initiative to accomplish what we really want. So on one of my Facebook posts, I had asked people, like, what has been the hardest thing about making a change in your life, or what's a big change that you want and what's stopping you. And one of the replies from someone was, I want to start a business, but the fear of not getting paid, getting a steady paycheck, has stopped me from even being able to do anything, and I just would rather just stay at a job. Well, if you'd rather stay at a job where someone is basically running everything and they make the rules, that's fine. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It's really not. Don't be fooled by the hype. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It is not for everyone. It is not. But for those who it is for, how are you going to change the world or bring some influence or live the life, the extraordinary life that you want to live, if you are letting yourself become paralyzed by fear just so you can receive a paycheck? And keep in mind, a paycheck that's probably not even truly paying you the worth that you bring to the table. I have been in that position where I was very scared of leaving a steady job, not because I liked the job or I wanted to be there or retire there, but because I knew that entrepreneurship meant that I was going to have to spend my money. And that was terrifying. I would have to pay myself, and it would just be me. But the way you get over that fear is you just have to start. You have to start somewhere, whether it's finding a mentor of somebody who's willing to share their wisdom of what you can do to create a plan, whether it's watching webinars or getting free resources online about how to build and brand a business, whether it is joining an MLM that teaches you the basics of how to run a successful business. There's so many things that you can do so that when it is your time to step away from that job, or even if it's you just want to start a side business and you like your job, you have to start somewhere. No one is going to rescue you and hand you a business. That is not how the world works. So you just have to start, because nothing is ever going to be perfect. There's never going to be the perfect time to do anything. I don't care how much you plan, how much you save. There will never be the perfect time. There may be the perfect opportunity that will come along, but you can't determine when that will be. But in order to accept that opportunity, you have to have done some work behind the scenes to make you worthy of receiving it. So just start somewhere. The second thing I learned during this entrepreneurship journey of mine is that your inner circle is everything. I talk a lot about having a tribe, and that means people who are guiding you, who are encouraging you, who are blessing you with their wisdom, who are rooting for you when you need it, who are being honest with you when you need to hear it. Having an inner circle of people who are going to help you nurture your dreams and your goals is so incredibly important when you have decided to start a business. I meet a lot of people who say, okay, I've started a business and I know what I want to do, but my friends are not supportive or my family is not supportive. You can always make new friends. And I think that's something as adults that scares us, something that we're not used to having to do, is make new friends. But it's okay to make new friends. It is okay, not saying that you have to replace the people that are in your life, but you can meet new people, people who are determined, people who are confident, who can help you to build up your own confidence in yourself, to give you the encouragement and accountability that you need. Having an inner circle of people who understand and respect your goals and your dreams is what's going to make or break you. Period. The most successful people in the world, whether they are super talented or not, they have people in their circle who believe in them or believe in what it is that they've created or believe in their ideas and help them to nurture those things to bring them to life. If you have a circle, if you keep going to get advice from a circle of people who are going to do nothing but condemn your ideas or tell you to play it safe, you're never going to get to where you want to be. So having an inner circle of people who you can trust, who will be honest with you, who will be encouraging on you, who will love you when you need it, who are going to hold you accountable when you feel like you have fallen, those people are going to be everything for you. So make sure that you are creating a tribe of people around you that will hold you up, that will help to make this journey feel feasible and like you can conquer the world. Having people around you who are going to root for you when you need it and not just latch on to you when you've already reached success. People who are going to be on the grind with you, who are willing to go through the trenches with you. I've been blessed to make a lot of great new friends or even old friends who I didn't even realize were so essential to my purpose that have come back and have helped make this journey so much more enjoyable and fun. And even in the moments where it's felt hard, having them in my corner has been everything for me. So your inner circle is everything. The third thing I learned as an entrepreneur is that you need to know your worth. And that is a twofold statement, okay? So the first thing is you're worth the investment. You're worth investing in. So whether it's signing up for some new courses, buying a new camera or a computer, investing in going back to school or some type of training, you're worth it. If you are good enough to come up with the idea, you will be good enough to execute it. So don't be afraid to say, well, if I spend this money and it doesn't work out, I'm going to feel foolish or I'm going to feel dumb. You are already worth the investment. You are worth you're worth spending money on yourself. You're worth caring for yourself, pouring into yourself. You are worth it. And no one is going to be able to convince you of that. That's something that you have to be willing to believe and act on. Free stuff is only going to get you so far. So whether you're using free resources at your local library or you're watching free webinars online or getting free workbooks or anything like that, that free stuff was only meant to take you so far. So eventually you have to value yourself and your craft and your vision and your goals enough to invest some type of time or money into it. And I'm not saying go out tomorrow and buy a $1,300 Mac computer. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to be willing to invest something of worth into yourself. So whether it's time, whether it's going to certain events, whether it is buying a new computer, buying a camera, getting that office space that you need for your business to thrive, you are worth it. You are worth it. And you have to be willing to accept that about yourself. Otherwise, you are going to continuously find reasons to not invest. And you're not going to be able to scale your business. You're not going to be able to thrive as a person. You're not going to be able to succeed as a business owner if you allow yourself to think that, oh, I don't need that right now. It's really not worth it. It may not be the right time in some instances, but you have to value yourself enough so that you can receive that investment, so that you can make that investment without guilt. So you have to know your worth and value yourself. The other part of that is that you have to value the fact that you are worth spending money on. So whether it's your products or services that are in your business, there is someone out there who is going to see your worth. And when you can own that worth, when you can own that you are worth an investment, people will start to believe you as well. If you're presenting yourself to create some type of product or service and saying, pay me this amount of money, but then in your delivery, the way that you talk about yourself is very self-conscious, it's going to be hard for people to believe in you and invest in you too. So you have to know your worth. You have to own that worth so that people will want to invest their time and money into you. You cannot have low self-confidence and then in turn expect people to have confidence in you. It has to come from both ends. You have to have one, you have to be confident in what it is that you can provide so that people will be confident in spending their money in you. And that is something that I definitely struggled with in the first year of my business. Was I knew how much my skills were worth, but I didn't believe I was worth that. I didn't believe that people would see my worth in making that type of investment. And what it did was it allowed people to lowball me. And so when I was ready to ask for more, I did have obstacles in trying to convince people because I had spent so much time lowering my value and accepting that I wasn't worth what I really was. And by the time I was able to own that, it definitely was a struggle to get other people who had already invested, were already comfortable with paying me less and having to convince them that I was worth more. So own your worth, investing in yourself, and also believing that you are valuable so other people will invest in you too. The fourth thing I learned in my first few years of business is that there will be hard times. I am not going to lie to you and tell you that there will not be moments where you are frustrated, where you may feel like you are on the edge of depression, where you feel upset, you feel unworthy. It is going to happen. And there is no amount of preparation that you can put into place that will avoid this forever, right? There is always a chance that you will feel some type of doubt. What matters is how you recover from that thought or that feeling. So if you begin to doubt yourself or doubt your abilities, you have to do the work to unpack where that doubt is coming from and be willing to shift your mindset so that you can make positive changes for yourself and for your business. Another part of that is entrepreneurship is a game of survival. And I don't want to see you thinking that you're going to start a business just thinking it's going to be sunshine and rainbows. This crap is hard. It's hard. It's hard to convince yourself to get up in the morning when you know no one's looking over your shoulder to make sure that you clocked in on time. It's hard to continue to do the work when people didn't respond to your launch the way that you wanted. It's going to be hard to stay motivated when you have people who have negative things to say about you. It is a game of survival. Who wants it bad enough? Who is willing to make changes so that they can see success? This is not an easy process. This is not a walk in the park. And that's why earlier I said entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It is not. It is not. So just because you see your friends going off and starting businesses, that doesn't mean it's for you. And don't feel guilty if you realize that entrepreneurship is not for you and that there is somewhere else in the world where you can do work for somebody else and still change the world. That's okay. There is nothing embarrassing about that. You have to be true to yourself. And if entrepreneurship is not that thing for you, it's better to walk in your truth than to live a life of lies and to live in a life of dishonesty, or wearing a mask, trying to be someone that you are not. And if you are an entrepreneur and that is what's in your heart of hearts and that is your purpose and reason for being on this earth, you need to accept that there will be times where you don't feel like king or queen of the world. And it's okay, because it happens to everyone, and you are not alone. That's why mentioning that having an inner circle is so key to success, is because those moments where you don't feel like you're rocking it, or where you didn't make the kind of money that you wanted, you need people around you who are going to keep you encouraged and pour into you and hold you up, because this journey is going to be rocky. There will be months or days or weeks where you have seen insurmountable success that is just crazy, and you are just so happy and you are thriving. And then there will be moments where you're going to struggle. You may make a mistake that you never expected, you feel like you can't bounce back from. Someone may betray you or say some not so nice things, that you have to find your worth and stay true to your passion and vision to work past that. It is going to happen. And when you can accept that hard times will come, you will be a lot more mentally able to deal with them when they happen. So, entrepreneurship is a game of survival. It is going to be hard, but it can be hella fun and hella empowering and invigorating at the same time. The fifth thing I learned while being an entrepreneur is that only you can make or break your destiny. Period. Now, I know a lot of us feel that God has created some path for us, that He created for us to live on this earth. And while that is true, it is up to you whether or not you meet those expectations. So only you can make or break the success that you have. Your determination to keep going, your determination to knowing when to pivot, your determination and your realization of when it's time to quit and move on to something else. Only you can make those decisions. Only you can control whether or not you reach your destiny, right? Whatever that success it is that you desire, or whatever higher power that you believe in, whatever that has been created for you, you are the only person who can make or break that situation. So what I want to ask you is, what is it that you want more than anything in the entire world? If it was the last thing that you would be known for, the last thing that you would do with your last dying breath, what is it that thing would be? And how hard are you willing to work for it? How bad do you freaking want it? Is it opening a salon? Is it being a dancer? Is it being a singer? Is it opening your own boutique? What is it? Is it to be the next Oprah? What is that thing that you want? For me, I say all the time, I want to be a world-renowned women empowerment and branding expert. I want to speak on those topics. I want to speak around the world. I want to change people's lives around the world. And I want to make money doing it. And I am not ashamed of saying that. How bad do you want it? That's really the only difference between you and those who have millions of billions of dollars, is that they wanted something bad enough that they were willing to do scary stuff, that they were willing to do things that would feel uncomfortable, and they were willing to keep going. That is the only difference between you and them. Not that they are way more talented than you, not that they are way smarter than you, but for the fact that they were willing to go after it. They wanted it bad enough. So how bad do you want it? That's really all it comes down to. So that is my fifth tip, or my fifth thing that I've learned while being an entrepreneur. And if these tips have been helpful for you, let me know in the comments below. Or if there's a question that I didn't answer that you are dying to know, let me know and I will answer it. Myself, I will answer that question for you. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and to share this with all of your friends on social media, by email, by text message, however you have to get the message out there. I would really appreciate it if you would share this with someone else who really needs to hear this advice. And I hope that you can stay encouraged and empowered on your journey as an entrepreneur. I know that it can be hard, it can be fun, it can be overwhelming, it can be freeing. There are so many feelings. It is a roller coaster of emotions that comes along with this responsibility. So I hope you make a good one and that you enjoy the ride. And I can't wait to see you on the other side. Bye, besties. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe and check more out at brandingbestie.com. And I'm available on social media everywhere at brandingbestie.